Hi everyone, it's the Rich Mama, and today we are going to talk about long-term savings. So, the longer you have for saving up, the less money you need to allocate each month towards your goals. So that means the less you have to save each month if you have more time. And this is because of something called the power of compound interest. Now, we talked about that a little bit in our last session, but if you start a retirement plan when you're 25 and you put $100 per month for 40 years with 8% interest, the result will be, ta-da! It is going to be a lot of money. It's actually going to be your deposits are the small light chart, $40,000, and your interest is over $305,000. So your total is $353,000, give or take. Pretty cool. Because the power of compound interest, it's really to your advantage to start your long-term savings as early as possible. And even if you don't start early, you can still help catch up for it. So long-term savings includes things like retirement and saving for college. If you have a kid, obviously you have about 17 to 18 years to save for college. So you want to start early. You want to begin an account for your child in the first year. Get a team together. Try to get relatives involved. They can give college money as gifts for Christmas or birthdays. A lot of time, I think we wind up with a bunch of stuff at Christmas and birthdays. Junk that we don't need. How much better would it have been for the parents, the grandparents, aunts and uncles to take half of the money they want to spend on those gifts and just have that go to a college savings. It's just a thought. A lot of people don't like that idea, but if your family's receptive to it, it can be pretty effective. So maybe one small gift and the rest cash that goes into the college retirement account. So next, when you're saving for college, here are some other strategies. You want to seek security plus a higher interest rate. Online banks tend to have higher interest rates, and you can look into using mutual funds and other investments. This is just a little tip. As the interest rate rises, that means the interest rate or the return you're getting for your money rises, so does the risk. So you may have heard about hedge funds. They offer a huge rate of return, but they're extremely risky. You could just as easily lose a ton of money, all of your money, as you could to make your money. But something like a savings account is usually guaranteed by some government entity. In the United States, it's called the FDIC. So they don't have high interest rates, but they're extremely safe. If you're going to go for student loans or government aid, you can apply for a loan through your bank. You could also apply for the federal government. Generally, I would say go with the federal student loans because they charge a lower interest rate and give you more repayment options. But remember, a student loan is forever. These kinds of debts and loans cannot be discharged ever, even in bankruptcy. So it's not like credit cards. Think seriously. You can look for scholarships. Scholarships are offered on academic or athletic basis. Some will cover the entire tuition. Some only cover a portion of the bill. The great thing about a true scholarship is you don't have to pay them back. The other thing is there are tons of scholarships out there from local small organizations like Rotaries, Lions Clubs. There are scholarships for just about everything. You can actually go online and find databases of scholarships. Some you might have to pay for in order to access them. So be careful before you pay money. But your child could really go out and apply for a lot of different scholarships and put together 100 scholarships of $500 to really make a difference. Maybe not 100, but 10 scholarships of $500 would be $5,000. That would be pretty impressive. So don't just stop at what the school's offering. Look deeper, really dig deeper. And this is something you should definitely get your kid involved in when you're doing scholarships. So savings for retirement. So for retirement, you have to look for something that's going to provide a better rate of return on your funds in your checking or savings account at your bank. These are something like IRAs. These are individual retirement accounts. They're ones you can open at your bank or your brokerage. They allow you to create a portfolio of stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. There's two types, the traditional and then the Roth one. Traditional IRA, you can fund your cash with cash. You pay no income tax on the money you deposit into your IRA, but because it's after tax, what's tax-free. So it's tax-free, so you don't pay any, so you can put in tax-free and get a tax deduction. But the problem is when you withdraw the money, there's tax. And also, if you take money out of your IRA before you hit 70, you're going to incur penalties. Roth IRAs are not tax deductible, which means that you're paying with money after taxes. So you don't get any tax deduction, but you get fewer penalties for taking money out. And there's sometimes a deposit limit. You can only put in a certain amount per year. These rules do change, so I advise you to go and check. We'll try to keep this posted up online, but we do change. So, but if it's $6,000, if you're over 50. Now, if you have both the Roth and the traditional IRA, the deposit limit applies to both accounts combined, so the limit is still $5,000 or $6,000 across the two accounts. Something to remember. 401k is a employer-sponsored plan. It has an annual deposit limit right now of $16,500. Any contributions will not be taxed until you withdraw the money because you're doing tax-free money. So this is before you get your take-home pay, and it's great. The money goes straight out of your paycheck, and you never see it again. Okay, so the advantages are that the earnings made from the 401k are tax deferred until the money is withdrawn, but withdrawing money before you reach the minimum age will result in penalties, which is 60. Another great thing is some employees are going to match a percentage of your deposits. In Canada, where it's going to cover a few other countries, you have a tax-free savings account. You can withdraw money at any time without tax penalties. So while the deposits aren't tax deductible, money made from the account isn't taxed. So the different accounts you have in Canada include the Registered Retirement Savings Plan, which is much closer to the USA's traditional IRA, but the deposit limit is much higher than an IRA in the US. Okay? Now, your Registered Retirement Savings Plan doubles as a 401k as employers put money from your paycheck straight into your account, so it's another difference. In the United Kingdom, the UK, you have an individual savings account. It's divided into two parts, cash and stock shares, and it can be possible to transfer funds to the cash and stocks component, but not the other way around. Term 401k, it's really a U.S. name, a U.S. law, so you won't see it. Other countries have other accounts. The terms become common, so they're sometimes referred to as 401ks themselves, so you got to know what your own country's doing. So you need to look at some goals. So think about a goal you need to retire comfortably. It's going to be a lot more than you think, and remember, look at your total nest egg. So if you have a nest egg of $1 million, it's going to throw off a certain amount of interest every year, maybe 10%, which would be great. That means that before you start drawing down the principal, you want to be able to live on 10% of that, which would be $100,000 a year. So you want to come up with a goal. A lot of people say $1 million because it's a nice round goal. Truth is, you may need more than that. You're going to have to take into account inflation. Is $1 million, is $100,000 going to be that much money when you retire? You also have to face the fact that a lot of people, on average, are starting to live a lot longer. They're spending a lot of time in retirement. Now you want to know, is your employer going to match your 401k contributions? And you need to think about the different types of account that's going to best match your needs. So overall, your action tips are start saving now because you want the power of compound interest. Now, if your employer matches your 401k contributions, you want to add the maximum percentage that your employer will match to ensure you get as much of a return as possible. So if your employer matches up to 3%, at least start with over 3%. If not, you're leaving money on the table. If you do put your money into an IRA or 401k, you're going to have to leave it there. Don't be tempted to take it out. It's not part of your short-term savings strategy. It's not part of an emergency fund. It's really money you have to leave in there. Otherwise, you're going to hit fees and penalties. Okay? So good luck.